What's up, everybody out there? How are you doing? Welcome back to another episode of Peppy's Point of View. And for this episode, we're not talking about my R&B divas. No, we're not. We're not talking about R&B music or music at all. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. However, what we are doing is that we are talking about real life and reality. Yes, real life reality. And they have a new franchise here. And it looks like we're talking about real life and ballroom. Okay. I just finished watching an episode, the first episode, actually, of real life and ballroom. And I must tell you, once again, I am hooked. But you know what? I'm always hooked. For those of you who don't know, actually, I started out talking about some YouTube reality shows, and I kind of moved away from that. Just well, not a tidbit, but actually a lot. I really don't cover much of reality shows anymore, and I have my own personal reasons for doing that. It is what it is. However, I am going to say this today, though. The reason why I decided that I was going to check out real life and reality, well, it's because I guess it's safe to say I received a message. And the message was pretty much talking about, some of the changes that are going to be taking place over in real life and reality. And I have to admit, I mean, I'm just going to have to admit it. I was kind of a little taken aback by the fact that, well, me? I received a message, about, the show. I have rather covered the show in prior seasons of real life and reality, and so I guess I'm kind of still, maybe on their email list or what have you. And so when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay, well, hey, I appreciate that. Not only that, I appreciate the fact that, well, it is what it is. I was about to say something, but sometimes people can take things, the wrong way. But I would just pretty much say this. Thank you, pretty much, Greg or Gregory, for I guess just reaching out to let me know what you guys was doing, what you guys have been doing over there. So I appreciate that a lot. And so I said, well, you know what? How about when people show you love, you can show them some love? And that's pretty much, what my intentions are with this. It's just what it is. So it says here, real life and reality. By the way, before I go any further, yes, I am going to cover the episode that I just watched. Yes, some episode. Yeah, I'm going to watch this season of Real Life and Ballroom. So I will cover that. And I'm telling you the reason why I'm covering it because, like I said, when people reach out to you, what have you, I think it's only, respectful to, reach back out and, I try to stay focused on what I'm doing because, as you guys know, building a platform and all that stuff, it takes hard work, it takes dedication, but not only that, it takes focus, and especially when you already have your own profession. Like I work full time, and sometimes that full time, sometimes my professional job, the full time be full time, and I have to dedicate my attention to that. And so it is what it is. But this year I decided to, really be focused this year on everything. I've learned the hard way. A motto I have, when it comes to my 9 to 5, and that is everything is important. You know how some people, your supervisors or managers or whatever, they'll come up to you and you're working on a particular project, and then sometimes, things will come up and they'll say, "Oh, that's not important right now. We need to get this done," and so on and so forth. And you have to know how to pivot, right? And kind of stop what you're doing and then go focus on something else. And I'm learning that everything is important. And on my job, in the office, I've learned that just because someone tells you, that's not important right now, not to focus on that right now, it doesn't mean for you to just let it stay there and just linger. You have to come back to it and get that done. You understand what I'm saying? And or you'll find yourself being called into the office and they're asking you, Mr. Jones, what's going on with that project that you were working on? Oh, well, you told me, to, what I'm saying, to stop. It's not important, right now. And that's not really the case. It is important. So that's what I'm saying today, is that I'm learning that across the board. Don't let nobody tell you things are not important and tell you not, to drop it and not focus on it. That's not important. And so I've learned to bring that over into my personal life. And in my personal life, I have to stop and say, wait a minute, hold on. Nothing can be on the back burner. All of it is important. And I don't know why I'm talking about that right now. Maybe that's just for somebody to hear that all of it is important. You got to stay focused, pretty much. And so this year, I have to tell you, I dedicated myself to just, really putting my head down, but in just focusing on me and doing things that I love and I enjoy doing. So if it's not something that I love and enjoy doing, and if it's not something that's given back to me, I can't give to it. And so, like, as I said, once I saw this particular um message, I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I can kind of focus on that. And there's nothing wrong with it. So for those of you out there who probably would come across my page and don't know anything about real life and reality, allow me to read what Gregory Ruffin, sent out to his followers. Real life and reality is making some much needed changes by adding more Black diversity onto the platform. Moving forward, we will be adding heterosexual talent to multiple shows. Some of our casting calls will be inclusive to all African Americans, no matter their I'm not going to say that word. How about preference? Because it's YouTube, or background. Opening these opportunities to all African American talent will not only give an accurate description of the creator's vision to include all Black people, but it will also allow us to expand in other important areas. I'm glad I'm reading this because now something that popped into my head, and I think I can talk about that with this platform. As a Black creator, it is more important for real life reality to align with all Black people's entertainment interests. This will give a full representation of the creator's vision for us in this space. Our core values will never change: real life, regular people, relentless stories. I am so excited about this. I hope you continue to support us. Gregory Ruffin, real life reality creator. See, I like it when things just come together over here. You guys know how I am. I just really and truly go with the flow. And I like the fact that I read this because I think now I know what I'm going to talk about with this particular episode. See, I love it when you just let the Lord use you. With everything that's going on in the world with diversity, right? Because we're talking about the DEI as well, correct? We can talk about that. And everything that's going on in government. And I don't know if this is the reason why, Gregory uh, decided to do this or not. But I think it's pretty much really genius of him to do this, especially in a business that is still growing. And I think it says a lot, about culture and diversity. And with the DEI, the diversity, equity, and inclusion, and everything that's going on with that, and how people are Some companies are deciding to do away with their policies and procedures on, well, excuse me, regarding DEI. And so now to see that here we have Gregory over here at Real Life in Reality, and he's deciding, you know what, we members of the LGBTQ plus community, they also need to think about expanding as well, you know, with diversity. Now, in my head as I'm thinking about this, you know, this here is kind of touchy, and I don't know why it's kind of touchy because I would like to think. Oh, hold on, let me stop. Y'all know how I get. I move real fast, and when I move real fast, I lose my train of thought. I just do because I think sometimes faster than I'm speaking. So allow me to slow down, you guys. Hold on for a second. Whew. Um, let's just talk about the stereotypes, and I guess you could call it the lack of diversity, even in the LGBTQ plus community, right? And what do we mean about lack of diversity? Well, well, just the LGBTQ plus, you know, and the things that that stands for. And I'm staying away from the terminologies just because, you guys. Um, but in it and of itself, we're lacking diversity, you know, because it's kind of like, you know, you got masculine, you got femme, you got, you know, those who give, those who receive. You understand what I'm saying? I'm trying to be mindful. I'm sorry, you guys, but I think y'all know where I'm going with this. Then you have those who are, you know, who you know have decided to go through the change. Those who are not going through the change. You know, it's just so much that when you think about diversity in and of itself, when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community, there's still a lot to learn, isn't there? And there still needs to be not only I think the diversity is there, correct? Would you agree? I think you agree that the diversity is there, but it's the lack of understanding or the need to understand or the want to understand. And I say this all the time. You know, there's nothing like, oh gosh, ooh, man, I have to stop and slow down. I'm sorry, you guys. Simply because I'm about to get on this tangent where I'm about to say words that I know YouTube is not going to be happy with, and it's just the words. It's not nothing inappropriate. But it's there still is a need to educate, and I think that's the biggest part about all of this. I think if we were educated and if we have educated ourselves, if we just put forth an effort to just learn right now. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just learn. Forget if you agree or disagree. But how about just learning the different cultures? And I'm so glad that this ballroom show is coming up, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why I'm glad about the ballroom. We can use the ballroom for a prime example. I know nothing about ballroom at all. I don't. So this is going to school me. Just number one, I'm finding myself like, wait a minute, what? 007. LSS, like what? Who? You know, I'm literally sitting here, you know, writing things down because I'm saying, well, if I'm going to watch it, I at least need to learn it. So I like the fact that even a part of this show right now, you are learning what? You are learning about ballroom. The same thing with the music. Isn't music a culture, right? It's diverse when you get into the different genres of music. I mean, people, we still have so much to learn when I think about this. We have a long way to go. I don't even think we're there. And I think because of what has happened, or is what is happening with DEI, is that we have put ourselves back to a place where I have to be honest with you. It's more like, well, that's not important. So I don't want to know anything about it. And I don't think it's about accepting anything. I think we are far beyond accepting. You don't have to accept anything. period. But the lack of education behind it, like you don't know anything about it, diversity. I mean, you want to just stay in your world because here I am. I'm looking at the ballroom, right? And I'm saying to myself, like, now ballroom, as I'm looking at it, I'm saying, well, no, it's not my thing. Ballroom is not my thing. But as I'm sitting there, does that mean that I have to change the channel and not learn what it's about? It's the same thing I say with the music that I listen to right now. For those of you who follow me, for my music commentary, and I pretty much my niche, I guess you could say, is R&B divas, and I'm learning that even with music. I found myself listening to music just for the hits. That's all I wanted to do. If the song moved me, that's all I wanted to know. I didn't want to know anything else. And then you have artists who are just so frustrated with the fact that, they're saying, well, but I like to put I like to mix different genres of music, or I want to sing about this and I want to sing about that. And people are telling you, well, we're not in a business to, promote whatever it is. Save the whales. I'm just throwing something out there to be silly, but save the whales. Like that's not we're not in the business for that. We're in the business to sell records. And that's understandable. But at some point in time, you have to at least learn how to appreciate and incorporate some form of diversity in your life. It's interesting. But I know I was on a tangent, so let me wheel myself back in and let me just simply say this. I say it this way. For real life in reality to want to expand and include those who are not a part of the LGBTQ plus community, you know, there could be a lot of reasons behind it. But my thing is that some people will probably say, well, but we've been so excluded to the point where why would you want to bring uh people who are not a part of the community? Notice what I'm saying. I'm talking about not a part of the community into the community, because this has been our safe space, our safe, our safe place of expression. Because I think more so than anything, it's more about expression, right? Salt and pepper. Life is all about expression. You only live once and you're not coming back. So express yourself. It's really was about expression and finding an outlet to express yourself and to be comfortable in your skin, expressing yourself. Then you have those who, will go to the LGBTQ plus clubs, and you'll be like, okay, why are you there? No, seriously, it's kind of like, hey, and then you look up and the next thing you know, okay, well, why y'all at the club? Why are the non-members of the LGBTQ plus community coming to the shows? I mean, there's just so many things that you can think about or you talk about when it comes to diversity as it relates to the LGBTQ plus community. And I still go back to the fact that it's still not a lot of the LGBTQ plus community members have not learned how to accept all aspects of the culture as well. I mean, it's the same thing with African Americans. We still have not learned how to accept all aspects or facets of, our community. Still haven't learned how to do that. And so I think the biggest part about all of this, as I said before, and I'm going to say again, is the fact that we're finding ourselves not being educated about it. That's the fear of it. At first I was taken aback when, all of the hoopla about the DEI and how, things were being, policies and things were being changed. And then I thought about it for a second. I said, well, who is this really affecting? Because think about it, just because diversity is not being, forced, if you will, by, the federal government. I got news for you. When you go back home, you're black. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, you're black and you're going to do things that are part of your black or African American culture. It's just what it is. You're just going to do that. Asian people are going to do the things that are part of their Asian culture. You know, Hispanic people are going to do things that are part of their Hispanic culture, regardless if the federal government is forcing the issue or not. You're still going to, promote your culture. But the thing is, there still needs to be some form of representation by the government, I feel, because sometimes you have to, number one, force people to do it. And number two, well, what about my tax paying dollars? Don't I have a voice? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. And as I said, I didn't think I was going to go down this route with this, particular commentary. I thought I was going to cover just only the show, but I think, again, it says a lot, you know. And yes, I am a counselor by profession, but I also went to school and I majored in history and I minored in English. And my background, my area of concentration is the civil rights era in African American literature. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, when I just look at this picture right here, do you understand what I'm saying? And I think about the history books and all the history books I've read, I can see this photo being, you see what I'm saying? What you're seeing right here in front of you, I can see this as culture at the end of the day. That's the thing that I think is so important. I know we are doing things and we want to, as I said before, we want to expand. It's about branding, expanding. It's about, money, resources. It's about giving people opportunities, of course. But at the end of the day, you have to, be open minded, and you have to be willing to at least learn about, culture. You have to. Yeah. Well, this show, and I don't know, like I said, I was on a tangent probably. I want to think I made my point. I want to think I made my point. I think I made my point. Did I make my point? I think I did. I really do. And for those of you who say I did make my point, allow me to just recap just in general. Okay. Not on a tangent, just in general. So here we have Gregory. We have, a gentleman who is a part of the LGBTQ plus community. And he has started real life in reality. And he has a lot of shows up under his collective belt. And this particular show, Ballroom, is a show that looks like it's going to showcase uh, what it's like to be a part of of the ballroom scene. And I am not familiar with the ballroom scene. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to enjoy watching this show in this, well, rather this season, and I'm going to learn ballroom. What, you know, the importance of ballroom. I'm going to learn the terminology, you know, that that's a part of ballroom, and it looks to me like there's a difference between voguing and ballroom, right? Do you see what I'm saying? And it's think I was about to say something. Are we offended because it's ballroom and it's members of the LGBTQ plus community? Because what if this was the waltz, right? What is this somebody doing the hush puppy and the mashed potato? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see? It's culture, ladies and gentlemen. And so we're going to watch Ballroom. All right. And not only that, what we're going to do is, like, as I said, we're going to educate ourselves and we're going to learn. And so he's expanding into non-members of the LGBTQ plus community. I'm interested in seeing how that comes about because in my head, what I would like to think, what will happen is that you're going to either have one, two, or three things that are going to occur. The first thing is you're going to have people who are going to come in and then they're going to have their own ideas about the LGBTQ plus community, and you'll have to educate them. Oh, well, I'm good. I'm comfortable being around people who are part of the LGBTQ plus community. I've always had friends are part of the LGBTQ plus community. I'm pro this, and then you have the other groups who are saying, "Well, hey, this is just an opportunity maybe for me to be on part of the show, and I'll be a part of the show, so on and so forth." Then you have people who, you reach out and ask them to be a part of the show, and they say, "No, I don't want to be a part of the show because if I'm part of the show, it's going to hurt my brand, so on and so forth, and I just don't want to blah blah blah." Do you see where I'm going with this? So many layers to it. So many layers to it. And at the end of the day, it's all about what? Educating yourselves and ourselves. At the end of the day, it's education. It has to be education. Now, having said that, and I think I was on there for 30 minutes, which means I got to spend some time talking about this particular episode. Hey, we have Paige, Dink, Warren. Who else do we have? Those all are the names that I can think of right now who are a part of this episode. Jay. I think we have Jay. So that's who was in this episode. And I think the episode is pretty much what I would expect from a typical episode. It's the first episode, and basically what Gregory decided to do, rather this scene, whomever the producers were, decided to do is start out with Ballroom. Now that I think about it, I think that was a great way to open up a show, talking about Ballroom. In as I said, I got Ballroom one-on-one for the most part. Ballroom one-on-one. I understand. From my understanding of ballroom right now is pretty much you have some who, for lack of a better term, strays. They are, somebody probably say, okay, that's offensive, but you have your loners, those who are making away from themselves and they're not a part of a house. I'm going to say that that's what it is. You're not part of a house. And so because you're not a part of a house, there's a stigma uh about you just not being a part of a house. And it seems as if Gregory was like, what, you're not teachable, you're not manageable, you're not agreeable, affable, you don't get along with people, you're rogue. What is it? Like, why is it that you're not a part of a house? But who knows? Maybe, and I can't remember who it was. Is it Warren? I think it's Warren. Who knows? Maybe he'll start his own house. You never know, and maybe he'll call his house Rogue. Instead of the Vogues, he can call it the Rogues. Rogue House. Hey, did I just come up with something? I don't know. I don't know. Did I just come up with something? I don't know. Can there be a Rogue House? We are the House of Rogue. We started out as rogues. Wow. But anyway, so it appears that there's, you can be rogue, okay? And he's not a part of any house. And then you have those who are just now learning, who are, just now starting out. And then it seems like, you got Dink here, and Dink, he says, well, you know what? I have trophies. People know my name, but I'm coming into a new territory where I have to prove myself. So it looks like Dink he has to prove himself. Once again, that I am, I am that guy, so to speak. And then you have Paige, and Paige is a part of the House of Mizrahi. Right? Paige Mizrahi. So Paige is a part of a house. And it looks like, on the outside looking in, it looks like it's going to be Paige versus Dink. By the way, Dink reminds me a lot of Malik Yusuf. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. And that's not a diss, but you got to know Malik's personality. And if you know Malik's personality, then you're going to realize that, yes, Dink and Malik, are y'all sure y'all not related? Okay, I really wonder what that would look like for Dink and Malik to be in an episode at any time, or together at all at any time. I wonder what that's going to look like if that should ever happen. And then you have Warren. Warren, I'm not quite sure how to describe Warren. Warren, to me, as I said before, he's not a part of a house. I just mentioned that. So I don't know what to say about him. Okay. I would call him, you know what? I think first glance, I would say this guy's an actor. If he's nothing else, he's an actor. That's for sure. I can see him doing like comedy or skits or stuff like that. Like, and it's not just from straight to film. Like, I just can see him, like, being in some part of acting. So at the end of the day, for Warren, he's definitely where he needs to be. If the ballroom scene does not work out for him, he's definitely an actor. He's definitely that. And then, I didn't mention 007, Vision 007. Okay, so Vision is a 007. I'm not quite sure what the 007 means. I probably can look that up real quick and just kind of figure out what 007 mean. But that's Vision. I'm trying to remember what is it? I'm trying to remember who Vision is. Oh, so wait a minute, I could be getting them mixed up. So it says 007 refers to a performer who is not a part of a house. So he's a free agent. But I thought that was Warren. Or is it that Warren is new and he's just now trying to break in to ballroom dancing, and he's new? Warren is new then, right? And 007 is the one I was saying should probably be House of Rogue, right? Yeah, okay. I think I'm right. Yeah, we'll see it. See what I'm telling y'all? It's just so much. That's why I don't do reality shows because I have to be on my stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a lot to try to understand, you guys. But anyway, so that's what we have here. What do I think about everything? Eh, eh, they're characters. It's people who are wanting to be, who want to be seen, people who are putting their behinds. My motto over here is simple: put your behind where your heart desires to be. And it appears that that's what we have here with people putting their behind where their heart desires to be. So anybody can critique anything. But at the end of the day, these individuals are where they want to be, and Gregory is giving them that platform to be able to do that. But of course, it's reality television, and well, everybody is always saying no tea, no shade. But trust me, it's always shade. It's never tea. It's never tea. It's always shade. As I said before, I think Paige and Dink are going to be the two who are going to probably be the ones who you got to probably look out for. And on the outside looking in, you would think Paige would be number one and not Dink. But I don't recall Paige ever saying anything about any trophies or anything that she has won. But Dink has said that. So it is what it is. I'm going to assume, is Dink part of a house like Ms. Rahim? Or is he, a free agent as well? We're not sure. I'm not sure. Wait a minute. Hold on. Dink is YG. See? Dink is YG. Oh, Lord have mercy. See, y'all. So what is YG? We're going to find out. I don't know. So I don't know what YG means, but he's YG. Oh, but as I said, bring the shade. It's always shade. It's never tea. And so apparently Dink and Warren knows each other. They met on social media. Huh. Interesting. Uh and of course I said, in the beginning I was thinking was an actor. And of course he knows how to bring about that acting, if you will. And then you have Warren and Paige. Paige is not feeling Warren, you guys. He's not feeling Paige is not feeling Warren at all. And basically says Beyonce would say no. Beyonce would say no, right? It's ballroom, but it's not ballroom. It's elements of ballroom, but it's not ballroom. Okay. And I think it's safe to say, when you're talking about it and you're looking at it, like, what did you think of it? It's not ballroom. And I think for me and a person such as myself, I'm always pretty much saying, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. But if it's not ballroom, at the end of the day, no matter how Paige said it, if it's not ballroom, then I think it's okay to say it's not ballroom. Interesting. I don't know. We shall see. It's the first episode of the show. And as I said, I just wanted to just talk about the show and support. I am going to watch. I'm a little bit relaxed with this one, right? I didn't want to really go in. Who is Karma? Did somebody named Karma? I don't know. There's a Karma on my notes, and I remember the name Karma. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, overall, I'm going to say I think this show is going to, be a good show. I really do. Hopefully, I will be able to focus on it um, and stick with it all the way up to the last episode of the season. Um, and I think I'm going to watch this show, and it's probably be the only one I focus on more than likely. And I'm going to do it in the name of diversity. That's right. So this is what I'm going to do to just hold up the banner this year and say, you know what, how important diversity is you know. And on that note, if if you made it this far in my commentary, then that means you love me. And I'm giving you the love back. So go ahead on and hit that like button, that subscribe button, that share button, leave a comment, so on and so forth. It is what it is. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. My motto over here is simple: put your behind where your heart desires to be. And whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, she says, baby, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. I look forward to seeing you next video. And until then, you know what you should do by now. Take care of you. And in the name of ballroom dancing, dance while you're taking care of yourself. That's what I'm going to do. I want you to dance this year. Yeah, we're going to dance this year. All right, you guys. See you next video.